Padam Chopra, and I graduated from this school in 2019. Basically, been in this school for all of my school years. So joined in KG, I think, and then graduated in grade 12th. Currently, I am working as a software engineer for a crypto company. And before that, I was in a US-based startup working with Naval Ravikant, for those of you who know. And yeah, I also did graduate with a computer science degree from the University of Waterloo in Canada.
So, in what year did you graduate, and would you like to share some fond memories of yours?
Yeah, for sure. I graduated 5 years ago in 2019. I think this was the year right before COVID happened, and then boards got interrupted, so I I just missed it, which is a good thing, of course. And some of my fond memories are from the last years of school, where I was in grade 11th and 12th. Specifically, I would say grade 11th because I was just done with grade 10th, and before grade 12th, so I was in that period where I don't have to worry about boards. Uh, and yeah, I did a lot of things in school, a lot of co-curriculars, which was really fun. I remember I used to have a friend, his name is
I still
Ariman,
have.
and both of us were kind of the science fair or computer science kids who would go around to different competitions and participate in them and then represent the school, and it was all fun memories.
So, would you like to share the values that Amity provides? How have they helped you in your journey ahead?
Yeah, I feel like Amity really presents you with a lot of opportunities if you're willing to take them. And sometimes those opportunities go a long way, and that's what happened with me. I remember back when I was in grade 10th or ninth, I started the tech school in this club. It's called Tech Syndicate. And it was me and Ariman again, both of us started it. And through that club, we got to learn a lot of things about managing ourselves, but also our peers, because we would hold like interviews, for example, to get the teams assembled for different years, and then we would conduct robotronics in the school and help school with the arrangements for that. And that really helped us kind of get these lifelong skills that we took with us when we went to university, for example, where we had to do school projects or university projects with other people. And then, along with those skills that I learned in university, I took them to my job that I do, where I have to collaborate with a bunch of other people on a day to day basis. Not only collaboration, but also responsibility is something that really has come a long way, and ownership, because we have to take charge outside for a lot of things that are given to us, which I feel is a bit different from how things work in India, because outside they really expect you to like take charge, take ownership of the work that is given, and I feel like Amity really helped me. This is
A
where
lot.
I started developing my interest for computer science and just coding in general. I remember back in grade 5 or grade 6, we used to have these web pages that we were supposed to make in our IT classes
Back then.
and so I remember going back home one day, and I used my skills that I had learned over here in school to create like a web page for all the different Spider-Man movies with like a catalog. Pretty funny to imagine right now of what I created back then. But I was really proud of it at the time. And then I learned like a couple things, a couple tags on my own. And then I came back to school. I showed it to Manisha ma'am, who was my teacher at the time. And then she kind of started putting me forward and directing me on like what I should focus on to learn more about websites. And then finally, I think the breakthrough for me happened in grade 8th, I would say, or grade 7th, where I started being picked or selected for going to inter-amity, inter-school competitions to represent the school in these website making competitions. And that is when I really started focusing more on this passion of mine. Before that, it was like a hobby that I would do when I had free time, but then I really started putting more direction, putting more focus into it, and then utilizing help that I would get from teachers over here at school to kind of know what I should learn. And not only teachers, I remember there was also seniors who would be sitting in IT lab, and I would interact with them through my teachers, of course, because it was pretty uh, tough back then to go up to a senior and ask them questions. But teachers were really helpful in making that introduction, and I would ask them what I should learn. I remember there was a senior, Aditya Thakral, who sort of told me the difference between a couple languages, and then told me which one I can pick up to develop an interest and get started with some real coding instead of making websites. And that really helped me again because I was able to get into languages and get into more serious programming from a younger age and did not have to wait for university. Along with that, I feel like in the later years of school again, uh, my interest kind of moved or grew from just computers to uh, more wider topics. For example, I had a project which was an app to help the deaf, mute, and visually impaired people, and it covered a few topics outside of tech. Like we had to interact with these people with special needs to really learn more about them. So it was more psychological and also more biological needs that we had to keep in our minds. And I created a project called Practicality out of this, which we then represented the school with in a couple places. So, for example, Microsoft Imagine Cup, we were the only ones from a high school to even be allowed to the national round, and then we ended up being the second runners up for it, which gave us a chance to go to the Microsoft headquarters in Seattle on a fully sponsored trip. Uh, and there were people from all around the world over there, and we were the only ones from a high school, and everyone else was from colleges, universities. So it was a pretty fun experience, just being there at such a young age. Again, because Amity allowed us to do so, and they gave us the resources to kind of develop our project, and gave us resources to go to these special schools, arrange those visits for us, so we could just make our whole project a bit better and a bit more realistic that could actually help these people. Secondly, I also remember participating in Niti Aayog's Atal Tinkering Innovation Mission when it first got started. So I, along with two other people, showcased our projects to Niti Aayog, and then I remember winning the grant for the school for the ATL lab, which is now there in the basement. It's a pretty cool lab, which is sort of like a tinkering lab where people can come up and whatever they are interested in, they can play around with it and develop that passion more, similar to the kind of opportunities I got. I also remember our chairperson, sir and ma'am's mantra called BHAG, which stands for behavior, hard work, ambition, attitude, and God. And I feel like it's a really encompassing sort of mantra that's abbreviated into something easy to remember, which should really be useful in directing you because all of these things go a long way. And if you're able to start at a young age and put focus on them, they really help you get direction and get sense in life.